everybody. So we are getting ready to go out and do some adventuring. As you can see, the little camera back there in the back seat, we are getting ready to go over to this park that has a lot of history to it. So we're going to be exploring, taking video, obviously. So stay tuned.
Sorry, I'm getting shot.
When Fredericksburg was established in 1728, the Alum Spring was a remote though well-known destination in the wilderness of Spotsylvania County. For several millennia, Powhatan Indians had come to the banks of Hazel Run to gather clay. These were the tribespeople Captain John Smith met when he explored the area in 1608. After the town was established, George Washington surveyed the tract, which was then purchased by his brother-in-law, Fielding Lewis.
So I really don't know what that's referring to. So I guess I'm going to have to do a little bit of research to figure out, number one, what do they mean by a gristmill race? And that's a pretty large chunk of time as well. And I don't really know which area they're talking about. Are they talking about this right here? Are they talking about this over here? Well, by the time I post this, I'll have a little explanation. So yeah, it's going to be fun to be a little Sherlocky.
The site of the old grist mill. 2 centuries ago, a water-powered grist mill most likely stood on this spot. Though an archaeological dig has not yet been performed, records and landforms indicate this was the mill built in 1753 by George Washington's brother-in-law, Fielding Lewis. The 4-story stone and wood mill ground corn and wheat for over a century, until it was burned down during the Civil War. In lieu of cash, the miller commonly kept a tenth of the grain as payment. When the surrounding foliage is gone, it's easy to spot the old mill race. This high, trench-like cut in the earth most likely carried water from a dam on Hazel Run to the overshot wheel of the mill. Revolutionary War records indicate that the miller's house and other buildings at Alum Spring were used as a prison for Hessian troops taken in New Jersey by General Washington, and as a hospital after the surrender of Cornwallis.
So right here is the site of historic ice house. Again, this is going to have me doing a little bit of research, so I will be posting the explanation probably right after this part of the video.
The site of the old ice house. This deep pit and bit of stone wall are all that remain of a historic ice house. In the cold winter months, ice was harvested from the Alum Spring mill pond and stored here between layers of sawdust and straw. It was eagerly sought as the purest and clearest ice available to the townspeople of the 1800s. In the days before modern refrigeration, ice boxes were used to keep perishables and provide the coolant for an occasional summer treat. Records show that ice was typically sold for $5 a share, entitling the holder to 8 pounds a day for the season. The sandstone cliff is a geological formation about 100 million years old. Back when dinosaurs roamed the earth, waters flowing from the western mountains toward the newly formed Atlantic carried tons and tons of weathered sediment. As the terrain flattened out, sediments were dropped from the moving waters in layer upon layer of sand and clay. Chemicals in the water cemented the sediments together into the sandstone that we see today. The sandstone cliff was a cold but welcome refuge for hundreds of women and children during the bombardment of Fredericksburg in December of 1862 during the Civil War. Thank you so much for watching this video. There is so much more history to this area. I simply could not capture it all in one video. Please be sure to subscribe to the channel and leave your comments below. I would love to hear from you. Until the next adventure, guys. Bye.